Hi everyone, so we're discussing the results of the poll around whether or not rebates come within scope of the ABPI code. Now we had, as I expected, a bit of a split on this one. So 50% of you said yes, they are within scope of the code. 25% said no, and the remaining 25% used the option I finally gave you of maybe or it depends in common compliance speak. Now actually in this case I gave you that option because that option of it depends maybe is in this occasion correct. So let's see why. Now the code itself does not mention rebates by name, but there are quite a few code cases that reference rebates. Really, if you look at the code, rebates are going to be covered in clause 1.17. This is the 2024 code, and that excludes from the definition of promotion measures or trade practices relating to prices, margins or discounts which were in regular use by a significant proportion of the pharmaceutical industry on the 1st of January 1993. And then also in supplementary information to clause 19.1 terms of trade, measures or trade practices relating to prices, margins and discounts which were in regular use by a significant proportion of the pharmaceutical industry on the 1st of January 1993 are outside the scope of the code. So reading that you think rebates outside the scope. However, those of you that have seen my webinars or been trained by me before know I speak a lot about the but only ifs. You will have an exemption from the code in certain situations, but only if you meet the specific requirements laid down for it. And here with rebates, although that is related to prices and discounts and margins, it will only be outside of the scope of the code if you meet the but only if, which is that it needs to be in regular use by a significant proportion of the pharmaceutical industry on the 1st of January 1993. And then as cases like 3549 721 involving Sanofi tell us, you also have to be able to evidence that this was the case. If you can't evidence it, you're not going to meet the but only ifs to be exempt from it, and it will now come within scope of the code most likely. We also know from cases like 2574-13 involving Sanofi Pasteur MSD that even if your financial scheme is potentially outside the scope of the code, if there are concerns around how you've communicated about it, those concerns about the related communication can then bring a complaint into scope of the code. So this is why maybe if you can prove that it was in regular use, significant proportion on that date, and your communication supporting it does not cause concern, then you probably will be outside the scope. If you don't meet any of those single aspects of the but only if, you can fall into scope. And also bonus points if anyone in the comments wants to have a bash at telling me what's the significance of that date mentioned.